Connelly-Dees, and I am a proud mother of a Mahtomedi graduate last year, and she does attend Bemidji State. I promised her I'd wear it today, and I am here to say that you all will survive. Really and truly, it does seem very overwhelming, and if you take the time and put a little effort into it with your student, you will survive as well. As Mr. Aiken said, the Mahtomedi High School's website in the guidance office is a phenomenal, by far, great start. You have a million questions right off the bat. You can get a lot of your answers right away. How did she find Bemidji State? We visited 6 schools. Some people say, holy cow, you went to 6 colleges? It is some to people a lot, some it's not a lot. Some students know that grandma, grandpa, mom, and dad all went to whatever university, they're going there as well. We visited large schools. We went to the university here. It's a big campus. It's spread wide out. We went to small school. We went up to Bemidji State. We went to a little private school. We went to a bigger private school. You have to talk with your student and know your student to kind of help them make that decision. If you have a student, like I did, who walked onto the university campus and said, I am totally lost and this is not a place for me, not at all. Some kids know that right away. How did she decide upon Bemidji? We visited it in the summertime, and she said, oh, this is great. Well, today there's 6 feet of snow there. Right. So when I got the call this morning, oh my God, there's so much snow. They will survive. Somebody said, how many schools did you apply to? After we went to the 6 schools, we sat down, had a couple conversations about her. What did you like? What didn't you like? If you think that allowing your student to visit all these random schools, 1 school, 6 schools, on their own, not a smart idea. Your kids will say, oh, I'll be fine, I'll get all the information. And you come home and they come home and you say, okay, so tell me about this and this and this, and they look at you like, I don't know the answer. And the information that he had about some questions to ask when you're on campus, or questions to ask or things to do before you go to campus, I would suggest using that, using the internet. If you just Google questions to ask on a college campus visit, you will get yourself 10,000 websites that have a million questions. What's important to you? What's important to you and your child? What's important to your child? Are you looking for a school that has a lot of music? You might not want to pick them this school to go to. Thousands and thousands and thousands of questions, and if you're attempting to decide and you're not sure, go back through all those questions. When we were down to our final 2 schools, I said, do you have any more questions? Do you have any more concerns? She was debating with herself, what about this and what about that? And I said, if you don't have all your answers, we don't decide till you have all your answers. Don't let your kids decide or help them decide if you don't feel like you have all your answers. Whether it's admissions, whether it's financial aid, whether it is how to get to Target because you don't have a car, whether it's, do they have girls or boys sports that they particularly like? Make sure you have all your answers. If you're second guessing anything, find your own high school guidance counselor to help you sort through some of your answers. I think the Bemidji admissions officer probably knows us by our, probably cringes when they were looking at our emails. But you have to be confident that what you want as a student and as their parent, ultimately in the end, like Mr. Atkins said, is that you graduate with a 4-year degree. And that's where they have to be happy. We walked onto Bemidji's campus for the 2nd time. She goes, this is just it. And your kids will know. If your kids are not sure and after 2 or 3 visits, they're just not sure, sit down with them, ask them. You don't seem to be happy with this or that, but what is it that you are looking for? Maybe they just haven't found what they're looking for. Then research those schools. Maybe they might be a little further away than the parents would like. A 5-hour drive to Bemidji is not my idea, but that's where she is happy. And your students have to be happy. You cannot pick a school for your student, because I guarantee the second week of school, they will be calling. This is terrible, this is so hard. It's not meant to be easy. But there are so many resources in all campuses, the financial aid offices, the admissions office, all the offices on so many campuses have answers and can have people who have resources or direct you to the resources if you can't find it yourself. One thing that I would suggest to all the students that are here, and I'm glad there are a few of you, picking college where your friends go is not a good idea. My child did not pick a school where her friends went, which was good, but she has friends who picked colleges where their other friends were. Now they're not friends, now they're not roommates. So think about only yourself when you're going to colleges. Think about your student when you're with your student, about does this fit for them, not necessarily for their friends, or what you think you can or cannot afford. Like he said, use your resources for financial aid. There are tons of them. Some of the students who were here that said that they were sophomores, between my daughter's the summer between her sophomore and her junior year, we had already visited 3 colleges. Because it takes time. You have to make appointments. Your family has to make appointments. You have to take time. Your parents have to take time off of work. So take the time to do your research. Let your kids a little bit dictate what they feel. Her first thing was, well, Grandma and Grandpa live in Arizona 6 months of the year, so I'm going to look at Arizona State. Go ahead. Let them look at Arizona State. Then point out the fact of the financial aid difference. It is a lot. Talk to them about financial aid. Make them understand the financial aid. Make them do some of the work to get the information that you guys have to use for financial aid. Look at, like he said, the scholarships deadline was November, so if you are a senior and your student picked their college and were accepted in September, October, November, and you think, oh, I have however many months to do some of the other paperwork, time is of the essence, big time. But if you prepare yourself, you ask a lot of questions. There is there's not enough questions that you can ask if you're uncertain. Ask, ask, ask. Email, email. Talk to your students, talk to your students. Do the research. Take pictures. The last 2 schools after we decided, she took a camera with her. Take pictures of the places, because after you've visited 2 or 3 or 4 places, it's, oh, did they have this, or was that school, or I don't remember this of that school. Take pictures. It doesn't hurt. Make one specific notebook. We had 1 notebook. All of it was college information. I put it in a little accordion type of folder, and every time we get information from different schools, you put it in there, because it might not be your school of choice, but it might have one piece of information that you're looking as a resource on, or that can help you with this, or can help you with that. It seems overwhelming, but it really, truly is not overwhelming if you take the time. Make sure your student is truly involved. Make them sit down with you. Tell you if they go on the college visits, pick up information about various schools. Well, I wouldn't be interested in that. Well, you don't know, because you haven't done enough research on that school to know it might fit in to what you need or to what you want. Don't pick a school on impulse. Oh, the deadlines are here. I've been accepted to 3 schools, and they say that you need to let them know by a certain date. Not all of that is always true, so don't make your decision on impulse if you're not 100% sure. I think there's a lot of students who panic, oh, I want my acceptance letter before Christmas. Well, if you don't have all your answers, you're not necessarily going to want your acceptance letters before Christmas, because you might not get an acceptance letter because you didn't do your research to provide enough information or to have the best letters or whatever. So help yourself with your letters, like they said. I guess in closing, it just help yourselves by asking a lot of questions. You just can't stress it enough, because you can use all the school's websites to answer questions. Sometimes you don't get all those questions. Sometimes there's things that are on your child's mind or your student's mind or your mind that just a little peace of mind makes it a whole lot easier as a parent. That you're not worrying about this or you're not worrying about that, or whatever makes your student happy, then you can send them off, leave them to being adults. Because at 18, school doesn't call you and say, Mary didn't come to class today. And nor do you get a report every month to tell you that the student didn't turn their homework in today, that they will be successful as to what they're set off to do, what their goals are, what their career goal is. And it's okay if their career goal changes. But you just hope to send them off to start right away with what makes them happy, because if they're happy, comfortable, feel safe, they hopefully will do well. Thank you.